Our last candidate president is Jeff, off to my right. So Jeff, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate the opportunity with the Grassroots Network. I've been here before as a presenter, as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago. You know, you don't need to know a lot about me, except that I was a small businessman, had a comfortable life, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough because in 2002 we lost so many seats back then even, and Doyle was the only one who was hanging on for us, and I just got frustrated. I was frustrated. I lived in a Republican district, held by a Republican for a long time. And I thought somebody's got to stand up. And I had done a lot of things. I was a town chair. I was involved in the community in a lot of different ways, helped pass a referendum. But I realized the only place I could really make a difference was actually be in Madison writing the legislation. So I did that. I ran in 2004. Now you've heard this sort of story before, many of you have, in your own districts. I stepped up to the plate, relatively unknown to Madison, but not unknown to people in my district. And Madison thought, well, he doesn't fit our design for a candidate. So they went and recruited someone else. I won that primary by 12 points. And then the next day I got a call from Madison that said, sorry, Jeff, we're not going to be able to support your campaign. But I prevailed. I didn't give up, I prevailed. I didn't win that election, but I came back in 2006 and I beat that longtime Republican. Again, using my own volunteers and friends in Eau Claire area, and we were able to win. And in fact, we won 3 out of 4 seats from Republicans in Eau Claire in 2006. Because we were well organized, we had an office that was year-round, and we had volunteers that were motivated. Now I lost that seat in 2010 by 74 votes. That was 0.8 of a vote per ward. This is really an important point I always like to make no matter what. Because whenever you're out there and you're talking to people and they say their vote doesn't count, you can say you heard from Jeff, who lost by less than 1 vote per ward. And their vote does matter. But now here we are. We are in a struggle for the heart and soul of our state. We know, as Democrats, we're on the right side of history, because as Democrats, we do stand for the values that are a progressive Wisconsin. But unfortunately, much of the public is never really sure what Democrats stand for anymore. I hear it all the time. Maybe you do too. Democrats are just like Republicans, or you're all alike. Now you and I may know that's not true, but we need to listen, because there's a reason, there must be a reason they feel that way. Could it be that they feel that money is too big of a role in politics, and that they feel maybe the Democratic Party is chasing the money too, so it turns them off? Maybe it's because we get out-messaged so often, and we're always playing defense. Or that we're using right-wing language that we adopt from them, like pro-life, right to work. You know, I like to talk, though, mostly about this. I think that our problems are we have consultants who are advising our campaigns to run as and sound like conservatives. You know, but after all, their logic is, of course, that they think that we're supposed to attract Republican voters. But if all we're doing is using Republican talking points, all we're doing is we're validating to them that we don't stand for anything. Something else I hear a lot of. Well, given a choice between a conservative with conviction and a middle-of-the-road conservative light candidate, voters are going to choose the genuine article. So all we do is create an inauthentic, fake-sounding campaign, and voters will smell out a fake every time. We got to quit doing that. We need to give voters authentic, liberal, progressive candidates that they can trust and get behind. Let's be honest with our voters. Don't just expect that they're automatically going to vote for us because we put a D next to our name. You know, there's a lot of talk about 65% of Democrats, likely voters last year, showed up, whereas 95% of likely Republicans showed up. But yet we keep thinking that we're supposed to go after that 95% and chisel that away. We need to go after the 30% that are staying home. And why are they staying home? Because we're not being honest with them that we're really Democrats. Democratic operatives need to realize that elected Republicans fundamentally do not want the same country that we have. Let's face it, it's true now. We must be the party with candidates who will vigorously assert our progressive values and who will make clear the stark difference between us and them. Let's start by standing behind our own platform. I agree, Joe. It's a great document, and it's a great reminder that we are progressive. Start with that and always use that as our base for our messaging. You do need to check it out. Then let's listen to our neighbors and friends. We should be holding listening sessions and knocking on doors, even in the odd years, so that we know where voters are leaning and what they're saying. If we commit to running a field program year-round as a party, we can implement what I call a regional approach. There can be 12 regions based on state Senate lines. If we did this, we wouldn't need to helicopter in those young staffers every election cycle where they have to just figure out who to talk to, where to go, and what to do to help us win elections. We'd be ready for them. We could hire our leadership locally and take advantage of the experience and passion that I know and I see here. And I see that all around the state. Why are we overlooking that and not listening to that? We need to address the lack of trust and respect between the party and many great activists, and many of you know what I'm talking about. There are so many progressives in our state who will not join the party or call themselves Democrat. And my goal is to build the trust and respect that will make all progressives proud to declare, I am Democrat, and Democrats stand with me. Thank you.